What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys hopping in. We are going to talk some NFL free agency stuff right now. Very shortly, as soon as I go live over on TikTok here, and we will be all good to go. Talk about everything that's going on. Mainly want to answer your guys' questions. Again, if you are new, we're doing this every day during the week of free agency to make sure you guys are updated on everything, keep you guys posted on any big moves, but more answer your questions. Get my 2 cents on your thoughts and ideas for your favorite team, whatever team you want me to talk about too. But I'm going to go live here on TikTok real quick and go put up Instagram shortly as well. All right, Instagram is good to go. TikTok is loading up right now. All right, guys. So if you guys are watching on Twitter and YouTube right now, feel free to ask your questions in the comments. I'll pull them up. I'll answer them. We'll talk about them. Make sure you are following if you're new. If you don't know me, I'm Max. I make daily football content, keeping you updated, informed on everything going on in the NFL and college football world. People are slowly trickling in from TikTok as well. I'll make sure everybody gets onto that. All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. A couple big moves this morning. Obviously, Daniel Jones to the Colts is the biggest one, but a couple other things. Jonathan Allen, the Vikings are doing really well. They're doing some really good stuff over there. Also, Javon Hargrave. Who else this morning? Will Fries to the Vikings as well. Overall, the Vikings are winning this day. I mean, they didn't really spend too much yesterday. They're leaning into J.J. McCarthy, a quarterback, which I think is a very good thing. Yeah, NFC North is cooking in free agency. There we go. Yeah. I'm with you. To me, yesterday, the Bears were not by far, but it was pretty clear to me the Bears were the biggest winner yesterday. So I thought they did a really good job there. I mean, Green Bay brings in Aaron Banks. That's going to help their offensive line a ton. Detroit loses Carlton Davis, gets DJ Reed. I personally think that's an upgrade for Detroit. And then obviously the Minnesota Vikings, to me, by far the biggest winner today. I mean, they're doing an unbelievable job. Now we're kind of waiting for the quarterback dominoes to fall. But we wait to see it again. If you guys are watching on Instagram right now, if you're watching on TikTok right now, if you have questions, go to my profile, head over to my YouTube, subscribe, and ask them over there so I can pull them up for you and for everybody else to see, and you can get them answered on this stream. But yeah, the NFC North is cooking. I mean, this is the best division in football right now. I think we could probably all agree. I hate, every year, I feel like we walk into a season saying that, all 4 teams of this division could make the playoffs. I mean, this is the NFC North is definitely the division that could happen in. But yeah, I'm honestly very curious to see what happens now with the Chicago Bears, because to me, that is a team that is like a borderline. They're a borderline playoff team. They are. I think they built the roster the right way. They're building in the trenches. We know that's Ben Johnson's specialty as well. I really like what they're doing. I really, really like what they're doing. Any news for the Giants quarterback situation? No. I was just listening to Ian Rappaport on the Pat McAfee show. What it sounds like is he is still deciding between Pittsburgh and the Giants. The Vikings are out, so that's good news for the Giants. Right now, I think for the Giants, it's Rodgers. If you don't get him, you're probably going to get Russ. I think the Browns are kind of potentially sneaking under there. Maybe the Titans, but I'm not entirely sure. Kirk over Flacco for Cleveland. I think that's just smoke. I wouldn't lean too much into that. Patriots hot takes for remaining free agents, Brendan. I mean, maybe they look into Cup. I think they did a good job yesterday. I think everybody, whoever is putting the Patriots they had the best day of free agency yesterday, isn't really leaning into the guys that they got. When you have money, you're going to spend it. It makes sense, and they spent their money. That's a very good thing. But I don't know. I'm not Carlton Davis to me is not a number 1 corner. Maybe he supplements Christian Gonzalez really well. I don't know. I think Harold Landry, truthfully, was their best signing. I like the Harold Landry signing a ton. Where do you think Cam Robinson is going? I mean, potentially the Patriots need a tackle. Kirk Cousins to Browns, true. I think there's a lot of people who are saying all this Kirk Cousins stuff. The reality is Kirk Cousins wants to wait to make a decision. Do you guys remember what happened last year with Michael Penix? He signed his deal with the Falcons, and then he got undercut by them drafting a quarterback. He wants to wait to make a decision. That's the reality. Hold on one second here, guys. He wants to wait to make a decision. I think that's the reality with Kirk that we're kind of all overlooking. I wouldn't be wildly surprised if he went to Cleveland, but I think Cleveland still drafts a quarterback. Again, guys, if you're watching on TikTok, if you're watching on Instagram, make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube or following my Twitter and my profile. There's less people on YouTube. If you go over there and ask your questions, it's in my profile, same handle as it is on here. I'll be able to pull them up for everybody else to see, and I'll answer them. I'm not answering questions on TikTok and Instagram, only on YouTube and Twitter, because I can physically see them on my screen and pull them up for you guys. Yeah, I wouldn't hate Russ. I think the Giants are still going to trade up to number 1 and get a quarterback. I said Keenan Allen to Dallas. I'm going to stick to that. Cup, I still think Denver, to be honest with you. Bring back Flacco and him being able to throw to Ayuk and Judy would be insane. I completely agree with you. Like, it would be awesome. The Browns are not getting Brandon Ayuk, I can tell you that much, but that would be insane if that did happen. Also, guys, we just hit 14,000 subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Anybody who subscribed, I appreciate you guys big time. We just hit the 14K mark. It's actually pretty crazy. If you guys were here at the beginning of the NFL season, we were at, if I'm not mistaken, like just under 6,000. And we really didn't start posting consistently on there till like week 3, week 4 with the breakdowns. I know a lot of you guys are here from the breakdowns, especially if you're on YouTube. But we just cracked that. So appreciate you guys big time. My YouTube is Loeb's Leads. It's the same handle as it is on here for anybody. I know a couple of you guys are asking on there. You can go to my profile. I have a couple YouTube links on there for you. I'll answer a couple more questions. And I do want to show you guys one thing very quickly about the Indianapolis Colts with the Daniel Jones news. But I'm going to answer a couple more questions before I do that. How do you think the Broncos are doing so far in free agency? I think it's the best defense in the NFL. I tweeted that out yesterday. I'm standing by it. I think the Broncos have the best defense in the NFL. Obviously, it's close with Philly, but like Philly just lost a couple depth pieces as well as a couple starters. Howie Roseman, you trust really above anybody else to draft replacements for those guys. But the reality is those are big shoes to fill. You can't just magically fill the shoes of starters. So I think it's the Broncos. Hufanga's very good, in my opinion. Drake Greenlaw, when healthy, we all know he's very good. He's a tone setter. And I didn't really think the Broncos had that tone setter. Obviously, they had Nick Bonito. Obviously, they had Pat Surtain. But, like, you need that defensive leader, that tone setter. I think Denver got better because they got that. But I think they've been doing a really, really good job so far. Actually, I'll wait another minute here. I miss Flacco too. Yeah. Any Browns fans who are on here, by the way, 3 p.m. Eastern, we'll be live on Honor the Land talking exclusively Browns for like half an hour. So make sure you're following on all those socials at Honor the Land on every platform. Do you think if Pickett sits behind a decent vet for a couple of years, he could be decent? I think it would make him better. I don't think he could be decent. The reality is, and Adam Schefter said this, Kenny Pickett is not the Browns quarterback of the future. They just like Kenny Pickett. That's the reality. And it's undoubtedly an upgrade at QB3 or wherever you put DTR in this equation, an upgrade over DTR. To me, it just makes sense. I think Stefanski's system, a back to the offense or back to the defense guy, like he fits pretty well in my opinion. I'm not reading too much into this. It's not like Kenny Pickett's going to be the Browns starter for the future. How would you feel about the Browns trading for Joe Milton, even though we just got Pickett? Here's a very interesting thing with Joe Milton. And Ian Rappaport just said this on Pat McAfee's show as well. So at some point, NFL teams, and there's interest in Joe Milton, sounds like there is, probably a day 2 pick. At some point, NFL teams look at their quarterbacks and think, is it really exponentially better for us to ship this quarterback off when we really like him and risk potentially having to throw somebody who's worse at the quarterback position in a big game? Like, is a 3rd round pick for us worth it to risk losing Joe Milton for a game where, Drake May is hurt or maybe Josh Dobbs isn't what you thought out to be? Is that 3rd round pick worth it? The Patriots are deciding that. That's what they're deciding. Again, guys, I see a bunch of questions on TikTok. I see some on Instagram as well. If you guys have questions, go to my profile, head over to YouTube, and subscribe over there. That is where I'm answering and pulling up these questions for you to see. If you're not following or subscribed over there, make sure you are. Ask your questions. I'll be able to pull them up and we can talk about them. What do you think the Raiders do the rest of free agency? DB. I mean, they need corner. That's the reality. Truthfully, there's not a ton of guys that are left. Javon Holland going to the Giants kind of threw a wrench in things for the Raiders. But I don't know. I don't think it's a crazy thought to say the Raiders try to go trade for somebody. We obviously saw how aggressive they were with Geno Smith, trading for Geno Smith. So I don't know. I think there's a real world where they try to trade for a DB. Who that DB is, you kind of wait to see, but I think there is a world where they do that. Guys, I am going to show you very quickly on Pikkit. While this loads, I'll wait for this to load. But the Indianapolis Colts, guys, a very fascinating team to me for a couple reasons, because you're now in a situation, and this goes beyond Daniel Jones. You guys all know I love Daniel Jones. This goes beyond Daniel Jones, where you're in a situation as the Colts where you are, potentially have one of the best secondaries in the NFL. You lose some offensive linemen, but you still have a decent pick in the draft. Your defense is pretty good. If you can piece together one or two offensive improvements, you are competing in a division with the Jaguars, who I do like, but maybe not fully there. You're competing in a division with the Titans, who are not there, and the Texans, who have question marks. That is legitimately a division they can win. I want to pull this up for you guys. For those of you guys who like, betting on the NFL, looking at this stuff, they're not going to the Super Bowl or the AFC, but they could potentially win their division at plus 350 on Pikkit. If you guys aren't on Pikkit, go to my profile, join with code LEADS. You get a couple extra bucks to put on any NFL future you want, completely for free, just by joining with code LEADS, whether it's the Colts, you can wait for free agency to be over, whatever it is. But if you click the link in the description, it's not up there. I'll put it there right now. You can hop onto that. It's extremely easy for you. It's free money. But you look at the Colts, like plus 350 to win the AFC South is actually a pretty good number. I don't think that's wildly far-fetched, to be honest with you. But I do like the Colts. I think it's a pretty good team in terms of defense, the secondary. Daniel Jones, obviously, on like the prove-it deal. I don't know. I truthfully don't know if he starts week one. I think that's a very, very interesting conundrum. That's a good word. Conundrum they have with Anthony Richardson. But we wait to see that. But yeah, I do think the Colts made some good moves. I got a bunch of questions to roll through here. I love the Justin Fields moves. I have been breaking news. Here we go. The San Francisco 49ers are releasing Leonard Floyd. They are releasing Leonard Floyd. I know some of you guys are watching on Twitter, but if you're on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, go to the link in my profile. Follow me on Twitter. That's where you see all this stuff break. Leonard Floyd, that is a Joey Bosa move, isn't it? That's a Joey Bosa move, isn't it? 49ers releasing Leonard Floyd. Woo! That's a Joey Bosa move. Wow. Yeah, that's what this is. That's what this is, I think. Wow, that's crazy, though. Good for the Niners. They if that does happen, they have had a lot of they've been on the struggle bus, I guess. I think that's the best way to put it. They are 49ers releasing Leonard Floyd, 17 games, 8.5 sacks. I mean, that's another good edge rusher that hits the market. That's the reality. These edge rushers are it's a strong edge rusher class, I'll tell you that much. All right, let's see. Let's answer some of these questions. You see the Saints making any moves? I mean, probably, but I think their big splashes will be in the draft. I have them taking Ted McMillan in the draft. I like Ted McMillan a lot. They need that dominant X, in my opinion. Chris Olave is good, but not like dominant X good. Who does Chicago pick up at 10 if Genti is gone? I still think they can go tackle. I think they could go DB there as well, to be honest with you. Their defense is good, and I'm a huge proponent of the 49ers defense or Bears defense, but the reality is their secondary is a little weaker than we give them credit for. Jalen Johnson's very good. Jaquan Brisker's good, but they're not as good as I think we give them credit for. What do you think of Justin Fields on the Jets? I love it. I've been pounding the table for Justin Fields. The Bills will be as good as they were. I think the Bills are my AFC team right now. They, to me, were one of the big winners of free agency to start because they didn't make any big moves yesterday, but extended Josh Allen, Terrell Bernard, Greg Rousseau, and Khalil Shakir before the market blew up in their face. Really good stuff. Sam Darnold to the Seahawks. I mean, I like it. it doesn't like move me like crazy. However, I do think Sam Darnold is going to step into a situation where there's decent infrastructure around him and produce. There's no doubt in my mind about that. The Seattle Seahawks have to improve around him. They do. DK is gone. Lockett is gone. They need some offensive line help. They need a number 2 receiver. I think they could take a guy like Luther Burden in the draft, but they need some help. That's the reality. Boza to the Niners, so surprising. Not confirmed yet, but I can see it. Ted to the Pats. Maybe if they go that route, yes, I still think they take Travis Hunter. Chargers are going to do about the receiver situation. Again, I think they could draft somebody, but like receivers don't matter as much to Jim Harbaugh. We've seen this. Maybe Amari Cooper. For anybody asking about the Patriots, Amari Cooper was a big one for me. I think that Amari Cooper to the Patriots is a very real thing. I think it's a good fit. I think it would rock. Again, guys, I see the questions coming in on TikTok and Instagram. If you want me to answer your questions, I'm answering them exclusively for my YouTube subscribers. So go to my profile, hit that link up there. We're live on YouTube right now, and I can pull your questions up for me to answer and show to everybody else. So make sure you're on there. Yes, Leonard Floyd is released. Steelers going to have me out there as a quarterback. I mean, maybe. No, I think they're going to get Aaron Rodgers, to be fully honest with you. Trade to streamers? What? I've heard the Kyler Murray trade rumors. I don't think it's as real as we give him credit for. Rome, that's Rome Odunze, I assume. If he's going to step in and be the number 2, he has the talent to do it. There's not a doubt in my mind about that. Who are your favorite wide receiver free agents? Look, I still think Amari Cooper is a really good one. I think Cooper Kupp is probably going to wind up being a free agent, so I'll say Cooper Kupp. But honestly, like Amari Cooper is way, way better than we are giving him credit for. I don't think he was used properly in Buffalo. I think he's better than we give him credit for. Grade the Gardner-Johnson trade. That's a good question. I don't know. I think the Texans, so what it sounds like, the Texans were very much in the safety market. They really tried to get Javon Holland from what I heard. However, the Giants paid him a little bit more than the Texans would over he wanted fit-wise, whatever, wanted to be in New York. So he went there. However, the Texans were always going to try to make a move for some safety, whether it was free agency or trading for somebody like C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I don't love what the Eagles got back, but the reality is they got to get players off their roster to keep everybody happy and financially stable. So I think Shador is going to the Browns. Anyone trading for Pickens? That's very interesting. To me, this DK Metcalf extension, so move plus extension, says that the Steelers are ready to move on from Pickens. It's just a matter of when. Like, I think very soon we're going to get some clarity on that whole situation. I think what they do at quarterback is going to tell us a little bit too, because Aaron Rodgers is going to come in there. Aaron Rodgers is not going to come in there and have a version of the Steelers offense like it was last year where you only have one guy, meaning they trade away George Pickens. Aaron Rodgers is going to come in there and want Pickens and Metcalf, whoever's in the slot, Roman Wilson maybe, wherever he is. That's what Aaron Rodgers is going to want, I think. So I'm not really like super convinced Pickens is gone before the beginning of this year, but down the line, I think the reality is they just may not be able to retain him. With the Debo and Holland, how are you feeling about the Giants defense? I feel good about their defense. I do. I hope they don't trade Okereke. I've been seeing some rumblings about that. I really hope they don't do that. But I feel moderately confident. Like I think any defense who has that young of a core, the DB room, and a defensive line that can get after it is going to produce. That's the reality. Probably the best defensive line in football. Their third down pass rush is going to be unbelievable. With Golston now, Thibodeau, Burns, Dex, you better hope if you're an offense you don't get to third and long against the Giants because they're going to crush you. Who are the Giants going to draft? I think they trade up to 1 and take Cam Ward, to be honest with you. What are the Texans doing with their own line? I don't know. I think they're still going to try to sign somebody, but they're going to address it in the draft. Also, if you guys are on YouTube right now watching, make sure you're subscribed so I can see your questions. I know a bunch of questions are coming in. If you're enjoying it, leave a like too. Helps me out a ton. Lets me know you enjoy this type of stream. If you guys are on TikTok, Instagram, or on Twitter, you can go to my profile, click that link, join the YouTube, subscribe over there, and I can pull your questions up. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you do. Do you think the 49ers are about to make a big move? If they're making a move, it's Nick Bosa, I think. Najee and JK. Well, Najee's going to the Chargers. JK, I don't know. JK is a very fascinating one. I truthfully thought he would be back, but like, I don't know. There's like multiple reports saying like they could both be there. And you guys know Harbaugh likes his committee or group of backs, not necessarily one guy, but I don't know. I think there's a world where Dobbins leaves. He gets, money elsewhere, gets better opportunity elsewhere. The reality is the Raiders still need a back. I think they could draft Ashton Genty, but the reality is the Raiders still need a back. I think Chubb is going back to Cleveland. Rodgers, train Jackson Dart. I think that's a very logical progression. Eagles probably not. The reality is they're moving off of people to keep other guys in the building and happy, which to me is kind of how you got to go about this thing if you're the Eagles, because you just won the Super Bowl. You want to keep your core intact. You paid Saquon and Zach Bond. You just got to get guys who are replaceable off the roster. Appreciate you, Braylon. Welcome in. Tevin Jenkins to the Texans. God bless. God bless. Niners are in shambles. Kinda. I think they're going to get Joey Bosa right now. Yeah, very much a nice backfield if both Najee and Dobbins can stay healthy. Dart to the Steelers. I could see that. That was actually in my latest mock draft, which is on YouTube if you guys haven't checked it out already. I like Will Johnson a lot. Will Johnson is one of my favorite corners. He can do so many different things. He's big. He has quick enough feet to play man for a bigger guy too. And anytime you can move decently well and you're big, you can just clog a lot of spaces in zones. So you don't have to be this super savvy zone player. He kind of reminds me of Jalen Ramsey, to be honest with you. I don't want to compare him to talent-wise to Jalen Ramsey, but big corner, can play man, can show you a lot of different things at the line of scrimmage. Like that, he reminds me of Jalen Ramsey when I watch him play. NFL-ready quarterback, probably Cam Ward. The Pats overpay Milton. No, what do you mean overpay? Brown signing outside linebacker, you think so? I don't know. Also, again, any Browns fans, if you didn't hear already, I'm going to be live on Honor Land at 3 p.m. Eastern. So if you're not following over there, we're talking exclusively Browns on that platform, Honor Land at HONOR the land on all the socials. You think the Giants pick up another wide receiver to go along with Neighbors? I think if they get Rodgers, Cup is a reality. Yeah. You think the Seahawks will draft the quarterback to develop behind Darnold? They're going to draft the quarterback. It's just a matter of who and when. I don't think they get one of the high-profile guys, though. I think Trey Hendrickson, I don't know. There's a lot of teams that need pass rushers. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions went all out and try to get him. Broncos are having a great start to free agency. Bears and Giants sleeper teams. I just think we got to admit the Bears are good, not even a sleeper team. Giants defense looks good, though. Yes, I did see the whole Tommy Cutlets call from The Office thing. It's kind of lame. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't read too much into it, but I don't know, man. That's kind of sad. I love Tommy DeVito, and everybody's like, oh, Tommy DeVito ruined the Giants' future because he won those games. And, to an extent, they're right. But the reality is, they still got Malik Neighbors because of it. They got some other really good players on their roster. They're a good team, guys. They are a good team. They have enough if they bring Aaron Rodgers in to win 6, 7, 8 games. Sorry, I don't want to clip farm with the whole 6, 7 thing, but it's true. I don't know. I'm not wildly concerned about the Giants if they can bring Aaron Rodgers in. If they don't, Stephon Diggs is another guy the Giants could totally bring in. You think the Browns have plans to win soon? And is that why Miles, or was it all about the money? I think there is some plan. I don't know what the plan is, but I do think there's some plan. I think the money was a big part. I'm not going to lie. I can't lie to you guys. Texans got rid of the whole line. CJ going to get killed. Yeah, I mean, well, here's the reality, guys. He was getting killed regardless last year, so yeah, he's going to get killed, but he's getting killed regardless last year. If you're the Jets, are you confident with Justin Fields? Yes. I liked what I saw from Justin Fields. I've talked about it a bunch on here. Fields is a good player. He's a good player. He was good last year in the 6 games he started with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fields, to me, is better than we give him credit for. You think Howie's about to get Trey Hendrickson? I mean, maybe, but at the same time, the Eagles can't afford to really continue to pay him, right? No news yet. I keep refreshing for you guys. Do You see Cup going to the Eagles? I don't. No. Rodgers to the Giants or Steelers, what's more likely? I think Steelers is more likely, but listening to Ian Rappaport like an hour ago, he doesn't know which – like there's not much that separates the whole more likely, less likely thing from this. There's not much. Joe Tryon of the Browns. I don't know, to be honest with you. Past free agency seems like they needed offensive help. They didn't address it. I think they're going to bank on the draft for a lot of that stuff, but like you guys know the meme where it's like you're typing because it's free, like you're just doing something because it's there. They're spending because they have money. So I don't know. I like what they've done, but I'm not like blown away. Like you guys, if you didn't see my video, like the 5 biggest winners from the early part of free agency, check it out if you haven't seen it. But at the same time, like everybody's like, "Oh, Patriots won. Where are the Patriots?" They spent the money they had to, and they didn't get any like home run signings. That's the reality. And it's not like they had a bad free agency. Anytime you like overhaul your defense and you bring a bunch of good players in, you're doing good for your team. But at the same time, like I don't know. I am not as gung-ho on all these moves the Patriots made, and I'm not going to put them at the top of my list because, you know, they made the most moves or spent the most money. No, like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are contending, retained their arguably second best receiver, got an elite edge rusher, and retained a starting guard. Like they did better than the Patriots, who are just throwing stuff at the wall defensively. The Buffalo Bills, who are contending, who re-signed pretty much every big free agent they had before the market exploded. They were better than the Patriots. The Broncos were probably better than the Patriots. The Bears definitely were. I think if you're looking at it holistically, day 2 now, the Vikings are. Trying to think if there's anybody else. Who else did I put on my list? Or somebody else? Oh, the Commanders with the Tunsil trade. Like, even though it's that trade plus Debo, like, I think the Commanders have had a better player acquiring offseason than the Patriots. That's the reality of it. Yep, exactly. Pat's paid Godwin heavy. Factor in taxes. Cooper, I literally have a video ready to go coming out on that tonight. And it's not just Tampa, it's Jacksonville too. Might be setting myself for a disappointment. I think this year the Jets break their playoff drought. I mean, you look at the AFC guys, you got Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens. I still think if the Bengals retain all their offensive talent, they'll make the playoffs. The Bengals, the whoever wins the South. So that's 5 teams. Then you got Denver, who's really good. Then you got the Chargers, who are good and made the playoffs last year. You got the Steelers. I think the Patriots could be better than the Jets. Dolphins always can put points. Like, there's a lot of teams. And I'm one of the more vocal guys in saying the Jets are not as far off as we've given them credit for. But at the same time, guys, like that's a lot. That's a lot. I see your questions coming in on Instagram and on TikTok. I'm answering them exclusively for YouTube subscribers right now. You can go to my profile, click the link there, join the YouTube Live, subscribe, then ask your question, or you can search it up. It's the same handle as it is on here. But if you have questions, you want them answered, go to the YouTube and subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube right now, make sure you subscribe so I see your questions. But if you're enjoying this, make sure to leave a like on the video, the live stream as well. Is it crazy to say the 49ers finished last in the West this year? No. I mean, it's them in Arizona. To me, Seattle's still a very good team. That defense is damn good. The Rams are really good. I don't think it's crazy to say. I wouldn't pick them to. I'd pick Arizona to be worse than them, but it's not crazy to say. AFC is so stacked. Yeah. I mean, the AFC is pretty legit. I got a bunch of good teams. God forbid that Browns defense is elite again, and then you figure out potentially at least. Oh, here we go. Browns are signing Joe Tryon Shoyinka to a 1-year, $4.57 million deal. The former first-round pick recorded 15 sacks in 4 seasons with the Bucks. That is probably their star, strong side linebacker. You guys are going to watch me record a video for Honor the Land right now. You guys are going to enjoy this. We did this yesterday. You guys like this too. Joe Tryon Shoyinka. Yeah, I don't know. This is a pretty lame free agency class for the Browns, and it's not like it's Andrew Berry's like doing a bad job or like it's not like that. It's not like the Browns are just not spending their money because they're afraid to. It's just they don't have the money to spend. That's the reality of it. And, you know, I don't entirely hate what the Browns are doing, but you got to eventually be a little aggressive with what you're doing. I think Tryon Shoyinka's what I think is probably going to happen. He's an outside linebacker guy, more of a pass rush guy. What's probably going to wind up happening is Obo Okoronkwo is going to step into that true number 2 defensive end role in that 4-3 that they play. And Tryon Shoyinka is going to be the Okoronkwo guy. That's kind of what I think, to be honest with you. But we wait to see. Obo's good. I like Obo a lot. I think he's probably waiting for an opportunity to get more snaps. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, guys, if you're just hopping on, I appreciate you hopping on. We're going to be live here for a little bit longer talking free agency stuff. I am going to record this video to get all of my my Brown stuff out to make sure everybody's updated on that. But you guys are literally going to watch me. You're going to watch me break this stuff down. Hold on 1 second. Let me do this real quick. Ooh. Yeah, for those of you guys you're watching on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and X, number one, I appreciate you guys. If you're enjoying this, make sure to leave a like wherever you're watching. But number 2, my charger just fell. If you guys don't know, I cover the Browns on Honored Land, so I'm about to make a video. You guys are literally going to watch what goes into making a video. And if you're watching on like YouTube or X right now, the phone's going to be over the screen for a second. Bear with me. Andrew Berry and the Cleveland Browns have woken up this morning and finally made another signing. Tryon Shoyinka. Joe Tryon Shoyinka comes over from Tampa Bay on a 1-year, $4.5 Joe Tryon Shoyinka comes over from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a 1-year, $4.75 million deal. What does this mean? Who is he? Let's talk. 15 sacks in 4 seasons from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, kind of an edge rusher, outside linebacker prototype guy. 15 sacks in Tampa over the last 4 years, kind of an outside linebacker, edge rusher type guy. That is a hard name. I know, guys, it is. But here's the reality with this move. Obo Okoronkwo was the Browns' third quote-unquote pass rusher when Zadarius Smith was there, got more snaps as the year went on last year after Smith left. But now he is probably going to be thrust into a more important role where he gets more snaps every single game. And that third down role needs to be filled by a guy like Tryon Shoyinka. I like the move. You need some pass rusher depth. Right? Don't mind the move. You need some pass rusher depth, right? But if we're being real, we are all still waiting on the quarterback news. Make sure you follow so you don't miss any of that stuff. This is the hub of Cleveland Browns content for 2025. But we're all waiting for Aaron Rodgers. Mike Hall. All right, guys, I'm going to turn the fan on. Be right back 1 second here. So yeah, the Browns are signing Tryon Shoyinka. All right, you guys tell me who are watching. Is it really that hard to say, or am I just being dumb? Joe Tryon Shoyinka. Joe Tryon Shoyinka.
What is this deal? What does this mean? What does this mean?
Mid. Well, he's a depth guy. That's the reality. We all know this.
Let's talk. 15 sacks.
Yeah, but Joe Tryon Shoyinka coming in to fill that Oba Okoronkwo role, that Oba Okoronkwo, is going to get more snaps. That's the reality. He's going to be thrust into a bigger role now to be their number 2 guy, I think. Sorry, 1 second here, guys.
Don't mind the move. Yeah, right. But if we're being that stuff, this is the hub. 5, but we're all waiting.
All right. All right, guys. Yep, 49ers release Leonard Floyd. I'm going to keep staying live here for any of you guys who are on. 49ers release Leonard Floyd. To me, that is a Joey Bosa move if I've ever seen one, to be fully honest with you. I think he is going to be a 49er. I think they're clearing some cap for some other reasons, right? They need to, but Shoyinka. Yeah, you guys are watching a video get made in real time. Joe, try on these pants. Interesting. I like that. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of the move. If you guys are on TikTok and Instagram, again, if you're asking questions, I'm answering them exclusively for my YouTube subscribers. You can search up my YouTube. It's the same handle. Or you can go to my profile, and I have a link to the live stream right there. But if you're not subscribed, even if you're on YouTube and TikTok or Twitter right now, I will not be able to see your questions. So make sure you are subscribed so I can see your questions. When do you think a trade will come? Well, the Browns are not trading for Brandon Ayuk, guys. Stop. We need to stop this. We need to nip this in the butt right now. The Browns are not trading for Brandon Ayuk. It's not happening. Why would the Browns do that? It's not like the Browns have a desperate need in the receiver room. Yeah, I don't know why they'd do that, to be honest with you. Yeah, the Browns might sign me as a quarterback. Who knows? That'd be so sick if they did, guys, right? Could you imagine if the Browns signed me as a quarterback? All right. Now this is posted. I can lock back in over here. All right. Again, we'll answer some questions. What do you think about the Giants offseason? Look, the defense is way better, and it's great, and it's young, and it's extended for an extent. Like, this defense is going to be good and together for the next couple years, which is great. But you need a quarterback. What the hell are they going to do at quarterback? And you know what? I love Tommy DeVito. He's not the answer. We can all agree here. Tommy DeVito ain't the answer, guys. But I do love him. I do think he's a very good player. I think he's going to be a viable backup. Do you guys think I'd be better than Watson? That's an interesting take. I'm not convinced that I would be, but I love that you guys think I would be. Cowboys are bringing back Kevontae Turpin on a 3-year deal. 3-year deal for Kevontae Turpin. That doesn't make my Keenan Allen to Dallas thing look great, but that's how it goes. Turpin back to Dallas, Jackson. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Josh. Sorry, I don't know why I said Jackson. Jerry Jones is completely off his rocker. They made it. They made a move. Is this the first big move they've made? Because they let Golston go. They let Jordan Lewis go. This might be it. All right, guys, they signed a long snapper. You're right. We were live when they signed the long snapper too. You're right. That's on me. All right, guys, I'm going to stay live for like 5 more minutes. So if you're watching on TikTok right now, Instagram right now, go to my profile and ask your last questions on my YouTube. If you're not subscribed, I won't be able to see them. But that is where I am answering all of your questions. If you're subscribed, rate this Browns plan 1 to 10. Sign Nick Beck, draft, or sign Flacco, draft short can number 2. And yeah, I think that's a 10. I think that's a perfect offseason. With given what's going on, I think that's a perfect offseason. Given what's going on. I think a perfect offseason would be to make a Super Bowl roster. Are the Browns filling Tomlin's spot in the draft? What makes more sense? Yeah, I mean, Mike Hall is just good too. Like, Mike Hall is going to come in and contribute. But the reality is, there are so many good, I'm hesitating here because there are so many good defensive tackles on the market. I just don't know if they can pay them. Who do you think the Giants are going to get in the draft? I think they're going to trade up to 1 and get Cam Ward. I think Njoku has a big year if Joe Flacco's back. I would love Diggs on the Giants. Cooper, we have a lot of Amari Coopers already. Let's just be real. Diggs can be an inside guy. That's what the Giants need. I love Wan'Dale Robinson, but the Giants need it. They need a guy who can do both. Malik Neighbors will draw so much attention on the outside and cause so many coverage issues on the outside. Slayton's more of an outside guy too. Diggs can do both. I'm a Bills fan. I'm low-key mad. We let go of Matt Collins better than Palmer and better blocker. I don't know if he's better than Palmer. I think Josh Palmer's pretty good. Seahawks need a number 2 right now to help Sam Darnold and tackle help. Yeah, I think Marv could have 1,000 for sure. Why do you think these older receivers aren't being signed? Is it because of the draft? No, I think they're just waiting to see the market. You think about the receivers, DK got a huge deal. I'm trying to think of what other bigger, older receivers have been signed. Have there even been any? Josh Palmer is not an older receiver, right? Josh Palmer is not an older receiver necessarily. Matt Collins, not really. I don't know. I'm trying to think what other older receivers. See, but Adams is still a top 10 receiver. That's the reality. None of the older guys, with maybe Diggs, are that level. I think Diggs is the closest. I'd love Diggs on the Giants too. Does very fall back from 2 and collect capital? Probably not. I think if he likes somebody, he's not. I don't think the Browns are going to be picking the top 5 again for the next few years. I don't think they're as bad as their roster says they are. They're not going to be that bad again, at least anytime soon. I think Engram to Denver. I think Denver's going to wind up getting Kupp and Engram. Kupp, to me, is going to be a discounted deal, though. And again, guys, if you didn't see it already, we were talking about it. The Indianapolis Colts right now, plus 350 to win the AFC South might be a future that we have to hop on with Daniel Jones, a solitary future. I think we're going to do it. But if you're not on Pikkit already, click the link in the description. I'm going to hop off here. If you guys are watching on YouTube, TikTok, X, or Instagram, I'm going to go live in about half an hour, pretty much exclusively on Instagram. I'll be live on the other platforms, but telling you to go to Instagram. So search up my Instagram. Go follow over there if you're not already. Make sure you guys are locked into all my socials in the description as well, because throughout free agency, we are going to be putting a ton of content out, exclusively different videos on each platform too. So make sure you're locked in. I appreciate you guys hopping on. God bless you, and we'll see you a little bit later.